And hello, 96. We're back on the air with 96 Live. I'm your host, Robert Hart, and we're out here. A beautiful day at Starfort, as you can see now. The cloud in the sky. It's probably about 68 degrees right now. Um, a lot of activities going on today. And we're going to try to, let's see. Okay, camp open at 9 o'clock. From 9:45 to 10:15, they're going to have historic weapons demonstrations. From 10:30 to 11:45, they're going to have a guided tour, which is a 1 mile moderate hike. From 11:45 to 12:15, historic weapons demonstrations again. From 12:30 to 1:15, we have Cherokee Lifeways demonstrations. From 1:30 to 2, we're going to have the SAR wreath laying ceremony with the musket salute. Uh, Key speaker Chip Tinsley. From 2 to 2:30, again, we're going to have historic weapons demonstration. From 2:45 to 3:45, they're going to have the colonial country dance. 3:45 to 4:15, they're going to have colonial music and its history demonstrations, including fife, harp, and drum. And from 4:15 to 4:45, we're going to have historic weapons demonstrations. And we're standing out here right now in the firing range waiting for these guys to get started. In between, they're also going to have, from 10 to 11:15, they're going to have quill pen writing. From 11:45 to 1, musket cartridge rolling. And from 1:30 to 2:45, sachets. And they're also going to have dummy gun weapons drills. Now, this was Saturday. Sunday, 10 o'clock, the camp will open. 10 to 10:30, have the divine service. 11 to 11:30, historic weapons demonstration. 11:45 to 1, the guided 1 mile tour. 1 to 1:30, historic weapons demonstration. 1:45 to 2:15, colonial music and its history, including fife, drum, and harp. From 2:30 to 3:15, Cherokee Lifeways demonstrations. From 3:15 to 3:45, historic weapons demonstrations. At 4 o'clock tomorrow, the camps will close. Now, children's activities tomorrow will be from 11 to 12:30, musket cartridge rolling, and from 1 to 2:30, sachets. Now, I just went through the schedule for you, and they're getting ready to start, so we're going to switch over and see what's going on.
Everyone needs to stay behind the road barriers. The weapons are loud. Of course, some are louder than others. If you don't like loud noises when they are getting ready to fire, you can cover your ears. If you have hearing aids, you probably want to turn them down. If you have small children or pets, make sure that their ears get covered and that you hang on to them so that they don't wander up into the area. All right, Jim.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to start with the demonstration of the small arms, which today we have some of our soldiers with muskets and some with rifles. The musket being a smooth bore barrel. It's usually a larger caliber musket ball comes out of it. It's going to travel not in a straight line. It's going to be more like a knuckleball coming out of there. The rifles are much more accurate weapons. They're going to come out like a football and be very accurate like a modern weapon. Difference is, in a minute, you can load a musket about 3 to 4 times. If you're really, really good, maybe 5, but you get tired. A rifle, 1.5 to 2 shots a minute. So the musket's going to be a very high volume weapon. It's made to load very quickly, throw a lot of lead that way. You know, you might be aiming at you, but I don't care because you're all on that side. Where the rifle is a much more precision weapon. The reason that there are a lot of rifles is the frontiersmen hunted with rifles. So when they join the militias, that's the weapon they have. The professional armies later used rifles, but they were primarily using the smoothbore musket to get that massive fire going down the field. So we're going to do a few shots for you here, and if you've got any questions, we'll take those in a minute. Order your firelock. Shoulder firelock. To the right about. Hey. Five and load. they're going to go through, it's called the priming and loading. They have a cartridge box that has a paper tube called a cartridge with a lead ball in one end and gunpowder. So they will take that out. They'll have to bite that off. You've got to be able to bite that off. As you can see, they'll prime their pan, which is the mechanism that will ignite the shot. Pour the rest down the barrel. They would, if we were firing live, they would ram the ball down the barrel, and now they're ready to shoot. They go to either to the shoulder, as you can see, the militiaman, or to what's called a second motion secure. That tells whoever's commanding the line when they're ready. So now, as you can see, everybody's ready to fire. Make ready. Take aim. Fire. Prime and load. So you can see, even with me talking, that's going to go pretty quick. They'll get this probably in under a minute, and we don't practice this every day like the Army would have. But it's a very effective method of, again, just throwing a lot of shot down range.
That's all I think we're trying to do. Do you have any idea how far a musket can go? Musket ball?
Well, I'll say an effective killing range, maybe 75 yards. It'll hit you at 100 and make you angry, but it won't. Make ready. Take aim. Fire. Prime and load. Rifle at this period, effective killing range up to 400 yards. Yeah. And again, and maybe a little further than that, I'm not really a rifle expert. Again, riflemen are going to be hitting what they shoot at. Instead of, they're not throwing things down, they're looking for you, and they're going to kill you.
Now, why do we have one in the green outfit?
Good question. Gentlemen,
And I'm glad to see a few people up this morning. What's going on, June? Jesse? Nancy, I see. And Justin Parker. Oh, my goodness. See that? I got to do your job. You should be here.
take aim. Fire. Secure your firelock. Shoulder your firelock. Order. Door firelock. Are there any other questions about the small arm before we move on to the artillery?
Okay, so the three that were on this end were actual rifles then, or are they muskets?
Two of them are rifles, one's a small bore musket.
Okay. And the rest of them would be muskets then normally?
Right. The rifles are going to be somewhere in the 45 caliber range. We have one French Charleville and two Brown Besses on there. They'll be 75 caliber. Charleville's 69. The Brown Bess is 75, which is a little odd. And you would find the Germans would be carrying 75 caliber weapons because they were generally allied with the British, so they could swap ammunition. The Spanish were 69 because they were generally allied with the French, and they could swap ammunition.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thanks, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Cowpens artillery that's going to be firing a light infantry 3-pounder. This is colloquially called a grasshopper. We think the nickname grasshopper came about because when it fires, it will recoil. You won't see that today because we're not firing a live round. We're firing only black powder for effect. This weapon is one of two that was given to us by Great Britain on our bicentennial. It's an exact copy of the two weapons that the British had at the Battle of Cowpens in 1781. This is the sister gun to the Cowpens gun. We're going to fire it today with Stevens drill, which is a modified drill based on Revolutionary War drill. Colonel Stevens was tasked by the Continental Congress with coming up with the American Revolution. And what he used up to 16 men. Because of staffing problems, we can't use that. We can fire this safely with 7 or 8. I'm going to be speaking to you today. We have a gun commander and 6 crewmen. We're going to fire, as I said, a blank round, which is loud, so make sure the children know ahead of time they should plug their ears. We're going to use this drill, which was used to teach the recruits how to work a gun. So we're going to go step by step. We can explain it just like we did to the recruits. I'm going to to give you Eddie Davis, who's going to be the gun captain today. And as he goes through this, I'll explain what's going to be done. The first time we're going to go through on a dry fire to show you the drill. And the second time we'll go ahead and fire first time with dry fire. All right, Eddie, you got it.
Search P.
And what we're doing now is making sure there's no obstruction in the vent of the barrel. And no obstruction in the bore.
Advance. Sponge. 10 vent.
The number 2 man has his left thumb on the vent hole.
Sponge
Air
P.
going up and down when we sponge the bore. The sponging is to extinguish any spark which might
Handle
remain from a previous ignition. Number 5 man will carry the powder cartridge to the front of the gun for it to be loaded.
Charge P.
The cartridge now goes in, and at the next order, the cartridge is rammed home to the breech end of the gun.
Pick and pry.
Now the package that contains the black powder originally was linen or canvas. We use aluminum foil, and it has to be pricked to expose it to the fire that comes from the primer that we use.
Take aim.
The gun captain is responsible for aiming the gun.
Fire.
The burning match on the end of the lens stock is used to ignite the quill, which ignites the main charge. This time we'll go ahead and fire it with 4 ounces or 6 ounces of black powder.
Search P. Advance. Sponge. 10 vent.
Operating ranges.
Sponge P.
Safe and effective operating ranges.
Handle cartridge. Charge P. Ram down cartridge. Pick and pry.
That is the quill that's going in, which is what's going to ignite the gun once it's lit by the lens stock.
Take aim. Fire.
Well, that was only half a charge with
Questions after the howitzer shoots?
no cannonball in there. So,
That's the same name they used in World War II. Same thing. One. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, as y'all have already seen, y'all have seen the small arms, you've seen the 3-pounder here. Now this was kind of typical what we had around. We're going to do another type of drill. We're also have another type of artillery piece. What you see is what we have is called a howitzer. You notice our barrel's not as long as theirs. It's a little fatter, a little shorter, but I'm shooting a different round. I'm shooting a 12-pound explosive shell. I can also use grape shot at that particular artillery piece, but that's what I'm limited to as far as ordnance. Now, I can throw a shell about 1,500 yards with this particular piece here, which means I can throw a shell over the tops of those trees over there and I can attack a target out of sight. I mean, I don't have to see what I'm shooting at. Unlike the cannon here, max range can be 1.5 miles, 2 miles depending on the charge and the ball, but that's just a max range. Effective range might be 900 yards because they have to have a line of sight, meaning they have to see what they're shooting at. So here, they can only engage targets right there at the tree line. I can attack fortifications such as this here due to the fact that my trail is shaped different and I can traverse my barrel. Anything from horizontal up to about 45 degrees, which means I can lob a shell up and over, and I can land a shell inside or above the fortification such as the one behind you. He can't go generally too much above horizontal. That's why his carriage is a lot longer and a lot narrower. His recoil is different. I got to be able to take on a full recoil at a higher elevation than my barrel. That's why it's shorter and stockier. Now, I've got the same amount of crew, but I'd have a couple of different implements. If I was using a true howitzer, I would have a powder scoop or a ladle, which would be basically like an elongated sugar scoop on the end of a staff. What that would do is I'd introduce raw powder, straight powder, into a powder chamber into the back of the barrel. Then I would put the ball on top of that. That would provide the compression for it. I'd have a compressed powder cord fuse stuck in the ball. And it's not rifled, so the flames will actually wrap around the ball and ignite it coming out. Then it would go down range. And I could adjust my how it's going to go by either by the angle, the powder charge, and I could determine how I'm going to do an air burst on top of it. That's the most effective use. Back then they didn't have too good a casting as it was yet, so I might have a big chunk of ball going this way, a small fragment going this way, and you may or may not get hit by it. It wasn't until later when a British officer came up with an idea of having a perfect pattern or a more effective pattern of an explosive shell. He'd take the inside of the ball before it was fused together, and he'd score the insides of it. He may even put a little extra in musket balls in there to give it more effect. That would make a more even pattern for an air burst. After that, his name became synonymous with fragments of any kind of projectile. His name happened to be shrapnel. So that's where that came from. So, enough said, we're going to be doing another type of drill. The formal drill is good as far as presentations or other type of ceremonies and stuff like that. You wouldn't want to use that on the battlefield, however. You noticed how slower it was. That's more methodical. We're going to do a battlefield drill, which basically I give two commands. I'm going to give the command to load, and every member on the team knows exactly what to do. And then I'm going to give the command to fire. Now we're going to do 2 times. We're going to do first going to do a dry run to get a rhythm going, and then we're going to do one with the actual blank powder charge in it. At that time, loud boom again. If you got hearing aids, you might want to turn them down. If someone doesn't like loud noises or anything, you might want to take control of them. 4 south, 10 up. I know it's modern, but it's easy. Man of peace. Without cartridge. Load! You learn, don't take that off. Don't worry. Now, some of y'all, I don't know if they talked about why the powder cartridge box is so far away. That's to allow for the recoil. On my particular piece, it depends on the time or the terrain off, recoil is 6 to 9 feet. And it doesn't care if you're there or not, it's going to go recoil. If you try and restrict that recoil to where it wouldn't move, you risk blowing your cartridge up. Newton had that nice third law called every action has an opposite and equal reaction. Well, the same thing as if you shot a rifle or some kind of gun that has a kick. That's to absorb the recoil. If you block it, that force has got to go somewhere and you might blow up the carriage. So it's allowed to bounce across the top. Fire! Alright, notice how that drills a little bit quicker. That's how you want to be able to fire. Good crew can fire 3 to 4 times a minute. So you got to get enough firepower down range. Alright, this will be with a cartridge this time. Have a care. With cartridge, load! Yep. Fire!
So we're going to get a quick closer look at the weapons. Like I said, that's a weapons demonstration. We're out at Starfort 96 on Highway 248, 2 miles south of town. And they're going to be out here from 9 to 5 today. So come on down. I hear you.
It's hard to load the actual blank round all the way up in there in the powder chamber. There's no real way you can put a cartridge in there and get it up effectively.
Now that was a firing demonstration. There's lots more going on out here today. I came through the Black Swan Tavern earlier, and they were cooking up all kind of goodies. Also, I ran across some Native Americans out here. They have their tent set up. Not sure what else is out here, but as you can see, there's a full encampment. And we're going to talk with a few of the people over there, see what they're out here doing today. Like I said, it's a beautiful day. And it's a nice breeze. Got a decent crowd out here so far. So it's a free family event. Load up a car, the family and your dog, and just come on out and enjoy yourself. They will be having, like I said, a wide number of events today. And I will give you the schedule once again shortly. In the meantime, we're walking back towards the encampment and see what's going on the other side of town. Now, originally the town in 96 got started back in 1730 with the Black Swan Tavern, which was a trading post, and it grew from there. And usually they tell stories at the Black Swan Tavern. I'm not sure if the innkeeper will be there today or not. It's amazing some of the stories that you'll hear about things that happened back in the 1700s in 96. Boy, would you be surprised. Anyway, we're getting close to the encampment. The woman also at the tavern told me they'll be baking bread outside in the oven, the beehive oven today. Okay, we're back in the middle of the encampment now. Maybe we can get Adrian to say a few quick words.
Quick words, I got sore.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
Would you like to say a few words?
What would you like me to talk about?
Just what's going on? And
Well, we got good many reenactors and living historians out here. Of course, they just finished up weapons firing, but we have 3 more of those coming up later in the day. Tours, different living history demonstrations.
Okay.
All kinds of fun
I have a
stuff.
quick
You
question.
never know what you'll find.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
What's a sachet?
A what?
A sachet?
Oh, a sachet.
Sachet, okay.
Sachet is the it's going to be one of the kids' activities. It's just a little piece of cloth that has like rose hips and different herbs that have a nice smell, rosemary, lavender, things like that. And people would carry it on them.
Oh, okay.
Put it in their clothes,
Right.
things like that, because of course people didn't take baths.
Yeah.
as often.
And deodorant and all
Yeah.
that good stuff back then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's what a sachet is.
All right.
Yeah.
Boy, you learn something new every day.
That's the goal, right?
Yep. Well, thank you much for
You're
your help.
welcome.
Keep up the good work.
All right.
Okay, we're going to go check out the beehive oven now. Looks like they got it cranked up to do some baking. So this is Black Swan Tavern where it all started. As you can see, we have a nice crowd out here today. As you can see, we've got a good crowd out. People are enjoying themselves.
My wife says I can't use the blows
And this is a shaving horse. It's essentially a clamp. Because a draw knife is a two-handed tool. And I'll wind up making shavings. That's why it's called a shaving horse. And that's going to be one day stocks.
A ladle?
A spoon.
Okay.
This one. They didn't have sandpaper, but they could scrape things pretty smooth. But it'll get smoother. Even without sandpaper, it'll get a lot smoother. Eventually get the tool marks out.
Is it wood against wood will smooth too? Is that true?
No, ma'am, I've never heard that. But
I know like glass against glass will smooth it out just right.
like if you were a furniture maker, they use what they call a cabinet scraper. And so what you essentially do is you raise kind of a really sharp edge here and here, and then they would scrape furniture flat like this. So if you were a high-end furniture maker, you would have cabinet scrapers. And so instead of belt sanders and all the stuff that we have, and orbital sanders, they would scrape things smooth. And if you get, you start to feel 18th century furniture, like the really high-end stuff, it is very smooth.
Yeah, it is.
And so the drawers and stuff had hand-cut dovetail corners, and just really, really a lot of time would go into that. But, if I wanted this to get smoother, I could use a cabinet scraper, and it removes smaller and smaller bits of wood and starts to take out the tool marks.
Ah, okay.
I've got a curved one to the inside.
So is the pedal, is that just a brake to hold your...
Yes, ma'am, it's the other end of the clamp. So it's what holds it steady for me.
So your legs get tired, you pull the spoon
Not
right off from under you.
at all. Not at all. It's a hobby, so hobbies aren't supposed to make you feel bad.
Right.
I told my wife I could take up an expensive hobby like fishing or golf or something like that. It would be hugely expensive. So at least this hobby occasionally makes $1.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great afternoon.
Okay. How long does it from start to finish to make one of those?
Depends on the wood. Maybe an hour and a half if I don't have distractions or whatever. But this is soft, this is poplar, so it's a little faster probably. Maple's a little harder, so it just depends.
Okay. But then they last forever.
Well, they do last a long time. I just tell people not to put them in the dishwasher.
Okay.
A little too hot, I think.
Yeah.
And they used all kinds of wooden utensils, wooden bowls and plates, because wood was cheap and available. Metal was a lot more expensive and a lot more rare, and so a lot of their things were made out of wood. Homes, everything else, cradles. Wood is a valuable resource to us today. There was no plastics. You won't hurt it. You can touch it. You won't hurt it.
Yes. Pick it up.
They start off looking like just a piece of wood.
Now, do you do forks also?
I have done spatulas. They're a lot more trouble.
Yeah, I figured that.
And not as useful, really. Spatulas are pretty nice.
Okay.
For like flipping over pancakes or something like that, and they're fairly easy. Oh, we can do a better picture.
Oh yeah? Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Man.
Okay. Ain't gonna mess with you.
Alright. You know what it is? Yeah. Oh, I want YouTube also then, right? Oh. So it's fine. No. Okay.
Oh, without the phone.
Oh yeah.
No, this,
Give me this.
oh, there we go. Better.
Alright. Okay.
Don't hit me though. That's
All
pretty
right.
mean.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're gonna keep making the rounds there. We ran into a carpenter. See if we can get closer to the oven today.
Maybe 10 minutes. Oh, this? Oh, I'm probably about, I don't even know what time it is. I started at, it takes about 3 to 4 hours. It'll stay hot. So then I do my cookies and my bread and my pie, and I'll put a pot of beans in there. And that'll be breakfast. Okay, so I'm only an hour and 15 minutes in. And so it'll be, it'll be at least 1 o'clock, probably 12, 1 o'clock, and then I'll take the coals out, put the door on, and let them equalize. And then put my arm in. That's kind of my tester. So I kind of, it's kind of like those things that you learn, and it's hard to teach somebody. They have to actually watch you do it.
Now, Mary, are you not afraid to take the snacks and things to the war?
Pardon?
Are you not afraid to take the...
Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Mom, I've killed a British soldier with them.
Okay, we're gonna see if we can slip inside Black Swan Tavern real quick and see what's going on. And here we are. Home sweet home.
And make an apple pie in the oven. We've got some bread growing. Does that look like your bread? That's not what your bread looks like, does it? It comes kind of in a bag and sliced, and you take it out and make a sandwich. Well, bread comes in you mix it up with your flour and salt and water and a little sugar in there. And the sugar and the yeast, they eat each other, and it makes bubbles, and it's gross. And you get this big bowl, kind of squish it. So we punch it down. Then we take it out of pieces, and we put it on a board with flour, and we knead it, fold it over and push, and fold it over and push. And it gets the bubbles out. So that's what I did with this. And then we covered up. It was actually smaller. Even 30 minutes ago, it was about half that size. So now it will rise. It will get bigger and bigger. There's some loaves out there. And then we cook it. And then you can shape it round. You can shape it like a loaf like you get and slice it up. And so same thing, making the pumpkin bread or banana bread. We cook it and let it rise and then slice it up. Okay, so that's what you're seeing is that's what your bread looks like when it starts. And then finally somebody cooks it, slices it up, sticks it in that bag for you, and puts it in the store. We would have to do that to eat. We have to do all of it, all by ourselves. So for you, what you need? You got your muscles? Oh, whoa, you are definitely ready to learn to swing that axe, split that wood. You stand a piece of firewood up on its end, and you come in, bam, and it split, and then you turn it, and you do another one, and then you would get up in the morning. That's what you would do. You would chop wood first, and then you would try to find something to eat, like you'd kill a chicken, or you'd go hunt a rabbit, or a deer or something, and then you come back and you say, okay, Ma, this is what we're having for dinner. And you might go with your dad, depending if you're going hunting, for like a deer or something, you might go with him, but definitely the chicken, you just go get it out of the barn, and then you would start pulling those feathers off, and you clean it all up. So then you'd come in and bring it to us, and we would tie it up, and we'd hang it right here. Usually I have one going, but my son didn't get up this morning to get a chicken, so we're all kind of hungry. So you would work for several hours, and then you'd come in. I'd probably have a chunk of bread, some bread, and I would just tear off the chunk. You'd have a knapsack like this, right here, and you would have it on you. And I would have sent you out about 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and you'd have a chunk of bread in there, and you'd have an apple. So when you got hungry, you'd eat a bite of bread or eat a bite of apple, and you'd do your chores, and then you'd come back, and then I'd have some breakfast ready. So that's what we're doing here. Breakfast is about ready. And then you'd go out and do some more chores. So you want to come be my indentured servant and do that? Work for me for a while? You don't get paid.
Show them what the doctor did to your foot. Because
Okay.
she was in the woods
I
and she
want everybody to be very, very careful. There's varmints out in those woods, okay? And so I was out there months ago, and that big old copperhead snake just came and bit my foot. And that surgeon, we have a surgeon in town right now. He had to take those tools of his and he just cut out a big chunk of my foot. And so now he's doctoring it. He gives me the elixir and he gives me these really vitality pills that give me energy. And I would have lost my foot if we didn't have a surgeon in these parts. So we're very, very glad. He's out here somewhere. I think he might be over there. He'll show you his saw. If he couldn't have fixed my foot, he would have just chopped that foot right off. I've got my cane. Oh, did you come get it? You must have come got it. Because I've been using a crutch and finally I'm out. I'm able to walk. But see, aren't those great bandages? We just take strips of fabric and we just wrap it up and tie it up and away you go. I know they look kind of dirty, but that's the best we could do back here. And then after a couple of days, we'd wash them out, put some more strips, keep on going. So not quite the same as rushing over to Self Hospital or wherever. Yeah. Does anybody have questions? So if there was soldiers as you see, there's soldiers in the area. They would come through and they might pay for a meal. They may pay to have a drink. They may be in here, these pipes. They would have, these are brand new pipes. Sometimes you see them and they're very short, and here's why. These are made of clay. So if you're a wealthy traveler, you would want one of my new pipes. And so you would light it, and so your mouth is here. And you would smoke while you're paying, and you would pay to have a smoke. When you're done, then you leave. I would break off the part that your mouth was on. Okay, and so then the next traveler who came through and wanted to rent the pipe, have a smoke, do the same thing. So if you go to a tavern and they're way down here, you know that they've had lots of people having a smoke. And after a point, you can't break it off. So your lips are going to be where other people's lips are. And it doesn't cost as much, but you don't have the pleasure of being wealthy and being able to have the first smoke, first or second or third. So that's why you see some of those pictures, they're way out here, and some of them, they're little tiny stuff. Because you didn't throw it away, you just had to share after a point. Okay, so that would be tavern life. I will ask you, does everybody know what beer or alcohol is? Well, in our society, we really discourage you guys partaking of any of that. It can get you in a lot of trouble and make you feel funny and act weird. But in the time period that we're in the 1700s, in the backcountry, it was not considered a bad thing. It's kind of like taking a vitamin. It would give everybody a little bit of a boost, and so even the children, especially if they were feeling a little bit sick, a little bit under the weather, would have a drink. It might be beer, it might be a little bit of whiskey, it might be a little bit of rum. So that was another place. The taverns would have the libations to sell to people, but it would be normal for a child to get up and have a little sip of something and go on and get their chores, kind of like a morning vitamin. So it wasn't until the 19th century that we really got into regulation. Okay? You're welcome. Feel free to ask questions or look, whatever. We're just doing our chores, and we finally got sausage ready, and we're all hungry, so we're going to eat a bite of our breakfast and do a piece of this. That's not bad. No? Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys keep up the good work, and I'll be back.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you. That was a lot of great information.
Good, good, good. I love talking about tavern life.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go across the way. Oh, we missed the Native Americans. They disappeared on me. But I'm sure they're still here somewhere. Well, let's see what else they have out here. Supposed to be a surgeon out here somewhere, but
You know, I saw your face,
yeah.
and I didn't.
How
You know, I
been
knew I
doing?
knew it. I knew it.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I knew it. And tell me your first name again.
Robert.
Robert, thank you. And I thought, I know him. I got it. You know, and then it when I saw you taping, then I remembered. How are you doing?
Just fine. Still recording.
Still recording. Some things just don't change, do they?
No, not
Are you
much.
still in the area?
Yeah.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Freelancing? Website?